What's going on, guys? I'm sitting right here in front of my MR2. We got the VR4 back there on jack stands and there's some issues with it, so today we're gonna go and see what's wrong and the things I'm gonna fix with it. So basically my hands are all greasy. The work has already started, so let's begin. Okay, so man, that MR2 wrap is looking really nice, but we'll go over that on another video. Over here, what we got going on is one of my tires lost air on the other side because I never got an alignment, and look how tore up the inside of this tire is. Basically I think the coilovers came like, if the setup is like this, but I need to adjust this camber and the way it's angled too. So I'm gonna try to do that real quick and then take it to the alignment shop and have them done professionally. But since I'm at it, this wheel and that side, the coilers aren't the same height, because here my alignment on this is like that, right? But over here on this side, it's all the way to the end. You see that? So in fact, because of that, the way I have my coilover set up, I didn't realize that. So one side is actually a different distance between here and up top. So I'm gonna even out the coilovers and make sure that the distance between here and there at the top are all the same on both sides. Readjust the alignment up top so it kind of drives straight, and then take it to the alignment shop and have them do it professionally, because I don't have the calibration tools. But what we got going on here is, since I'm at it, my whole grease, my like boot is all greasy. You see all that grease right there. So it basically tore right here. See that? And so it spreads grease all over the place. So I have a new axle right here. I'm gonna put in the new axle. So basically, this end goes into there. So I'll show you that. But what we gotta do first is break out this bolt. I'm missing a pin, so I'm gonna have to go get a pin as well. Okay, so basically what you do is you keep this thing on. You break this bolt off, you pry this part off of the axle, and then you just take that out, and then you put this new one in, and then you put this end right there back onto the hub, and then you put the new hub bolt on. That's basically it. Okay, so the axle is out. Basically, you just hit this portion, like this. So you just hammer or pry this part out. It's very easily. It's not that hard to pry out. And then here, you just take a screwdriver, and then you just hammer it in this way. So with like I use a rubber mallet, and it basically pushes this whole end out. So it was sitting in there like that. Okay, so you don't need to do anything fancy in here. You don't need to remove any of these bolts or anything like that. You just want to keep one of these bolts on while you're impact gunning the nut out. Okay, so I'm gonna try and test. I'm gonna clean all this up, wipe it down with some paper towel and stuff like that, and then I'm going to put this this new axle on. Okay, so here's what's happening. Down here, when I was under here cleaning everything out, I saw that this thing, there it is. Okay, focus. Come on. That thing. So I saw that this thing was disconnected. So I'm assuming this black cord goes onto this node, but I'm not sure why it's not connected. I'm just gonna connect it and see what happens. If it's funky, then I'll take it off. But you guys know what that is, what that sensor is, let me know. I don't know if it's gonna throw anything off, if my tuner took it off on purpose. I'm not sure yet. So let me know in the comments, guys, what this thing is. Okay, so this side's all set. I think that's gonna be okay. I'm gonna adjust the camber things up, the camber plates up top. But down here, I have adjusted this side to where from here, from the top, yeah, from the top all the way down to the top of this is 11 inches. Same as that side, and then this locking nut, it comes preloaded, so it's at the same height. So we're good there as far as the height's concerned. Now, once I do all that, I can just adjust the camber plates to match on both sides, and that should be good, and then they can do the alignment. Okay. Hamilton, why are you messing with that bag? What's going on here? Stop it. Give me that. Give me that. Oh, you're a bad boy. Okay. So guys, here it is. Right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to adjust these. I've loosened these. So now once you loosen them, what you can do is this. Let me show you. Okay guys, so once you have these nuts loosened, right, what you can do is you can move the angle of the strut back and forth. So if you can go, you can see do that right there. So what I'm doing is I'm shifting the wheel, right? So that adjusts how much, let's say your wheel's like this, that when you lower the car, it goes like this, right? And this is the outside and this is the inside of the car. So you're cambered out, right? So if you adjust this, you can make it technically square or in like this. So if you move it this way towards the outside of the car, it will tilt the wheel in, like it'll make the wheel, this is vertical, this is the outside of the car, it'll make your wheel sit like this. But if you push it in, it'll make it more cambered out. So what I'm trying to do is get in a vertical, kind of as vertical as possible on this setup. Originally on this strut, the setting on this one is different than the setting on the other one. So that's why my wheels were like kind of funky, like one side was higher than the other. And I kind of adjusted the coilovers to make up for that. But I didn't realize how these work. So now both coilovers are the same height. And I'm gonna put both of these at the same degree of camber. And then that's when I'm gonna go get it aligned. I think that's how it works, so. Okay, there it is. So right here I got 3 degrees of positive camber going this way because I lowered the car some more, about another almost a ½ inch. And then on this side, same thing. Okay, so this side's a little bit offline for some reason, but you can see here the dash lines are at 3, and that's pretty close to 3. We'll see how it goes. Here's what the car looks like. See how I kind of like, the back is towed out, but the front is towed in a little bit. So I'm hoping once I lower this down, it won't be too crazy. This side looks like it's really turned. So might just be the steering wheel, but I'm just gonna adjust it to make sure it's straight. Okay, so now I'm all set to lower the car. I'm gonna go do a test drive and hopefully I didn't mess this up. Okay, so I'm gonna lower this right now. Okay, it's looking okay. Let's have a look at it real quick. Okay, you guys tell me if it's looking crazy. So there it is there. I don't know what, I feel like it's like kind of kicked this way, but it's kind of the same on this side. So I don't know, I think that's something for the alignment shop to do. I'm gonna go ahead and lower this hood down. Okay, so now what you gotta do is make sure you tighten the your lug nuts down to 90 foot-pounds now that the car is on the ground. Drive it a little bit, tighten it again, and then I'm gonna see if it's making any wobbling noises or drives funny. If it does, then I'll take it to the alignment shop anyway, but if it does, I'll just readjust the camber on both sides back a little bit more negative, because I know at that point it was working fine. So let's see what happens, guys. So apparently that little doohickey at the bottom, that I don't know what goes to what, that was unplugged, apparently it does this. So my anti-lock light has never been on before, but now it is. I'm assuming that because that was plugged in, or that was unplugged, that doesn't happen. So I'll have to read about that. I'm over here at a local tire shop. This is on Watt. The owner's name is Mo. His Instagram is Tire King, right there. You guys give him a follow. Basically, this is the local tire master. I've called all the tire shops around here, and all of them have told me no, where they're not even gonna mess with a aftermarket suspension with wide wheels. But Mo's the man, and he knows exactly what he's doing, and he's gonna get me all set up. So basically, what happened is, the specialists are telling me that I'm tearing up my tires because my front toe is off. So basically, the front are kind of like sitting like this. So we'll get these two tires. So the front are kind of like cockeyed like that as I'm driving. So it's causing like a crazy amount of tear in the inside of the tires. So my brand new, well, not brand new, but they're used, but they're really good tires. Super Sports, Michelin Pilot Super Sports right there. These guys got all tore up. Ow, shit, that hurts. And you can see the metal stitching under there because it was just driving unevenly, and it was just shredding the inside of it. So if you notice that nothing happened in the back, because the toe in the back is the same. So apparently the wheel game, there's a lot to it. So these guys are perfectly lined up, so they're not like they're not running all cockeyed like this or like that, right? When they're not lined up straight, you get that kind of uneven tire wear. So but the size that I'm looking for, the 245 35s, those are kind of rare and used tires. You guys know how I'm all about that budget build. So I'm just gonna get 245 40s, and I'm gonna put them in the back, and I'll run these up front for now until they wear out. Then I'll switch over to the same size all around. So it's the same size this way. It's just thicker up in the back in the 40. Okay.
All
right. So
I smell propane.
So what he's doing here is he's changing the toe, and he's loosening that adjustable arm. Okay, this is some tire wizardry here that I have no idea what's happening, but apparently when you move that, it adjusts the...
It's when I move this, the inner tie rod.
Okay.
It's gonna shape out how your wheel's gonna sit, this way or this way.
Nice.
That's your toe.
Okay, excellent. So that's how you adjust your toe, guys. There's a whole way of doing it. Don't ask me how, but we're just gonna do it, and then hopefully you won't mess up my tires. Okay, the wheel on this side is now looking really good. So it's nice and straight. It's not too towed in. It's still got that poke. Okay guys, a lot of work went on today. A lot more work than I really wanted to do in one day, on like a day where I had to call out because my VR4 is busted. But there's the axle after I finished with it. So this boot here, it's basically ripped off right there. So yeah, so now I don't have to deal with that anymore. And luckily, Louis, who was the one that was here in one of my earlier videos, who had the red VR4, he helped me put in the exhaust. He gave me that axle, and it went on there perfectly. So he had an extra axle just laying around. It pays to know friends that have parts. Okay, so here's what's going on with the VR4. Man. Okay, hold on. I gotta look at this. That red is just amazing. I got new wheels coming for the MR2. These are not staying on there, so I don't really care about that flat tire up front. The Tesla in the back still needs to be wrapped, so that's what you guys are seeing going on in the background. But here, like I said before going to the tire place, was that the 245/35 18 size tire, the same ones I have in the front, are too rare to buy used. And you guys know how I love that budget build. Some of you guys are probably saying, man, this dude is so cheap. Why is he always getting used tires? Well, it works for me because I got 3 cars that I'm alternating throughout the week as a daily. So, well, as soon as all of them are running and Michelle's car's back. So I don't really care about having brand new tires that cost like $100 something or whatever. I'm not tracking this thing. It's just a show car for me to just mess around in. So used tires works for me. And these were only 90 bucks for both. I got the front ones. So the front ones came off because those were the ones that were worn down. And I moved the back one to the front. And then the new tires went on the back with a 40 size. So these are essentially the same. I'm not running a staggered setup. These are essentially the same size this way. But this way, the back ones are fatter, so there's more meat in the back. For now, it's a 40 instead of a 35. So once those front ones wear down, or whatever, when I actually change out the front tires, I'll just match them all around with the 40 setup. So that's basically it. The guys at Tire King are the best. Yeah, so if you guys are doing like suspension upgrades and doing you know, new wheels, new tires, new suspensions and stuff like that, definitely I would spend the money, and don't be cheap like me, and go out and get yourself an alignment. So basically what they did was they went like, okay, so they were eyeballing this thing like this. So here, let me flip this around. I'll show you guys. So basically, after they put the tire on, they were just eyeballing it like this. They were just sitting in front of the car and then just going. And the tire masters, they know by just looking at it whether or not your car has the correct toe. So apparently, when the wheel is this way or that way, that's toe. And this way or that way is camber. I didn't know that. So that's why my front tires were all running cockeyed. But now, both sides are pretty well lined up. He didn't have his machine with him, so he was just eyeballing it. On Saturday, I'm gonna go and get it dialed in on the machine. The same thing's going on with this MR2. So here, the fronts are fine, but the back are really cockeyed in. So if you go out to the back, you guys can see that, all right, so here, you see how it kind of sits like this. So it's not towed, but it's cambered inwards, and that's making that MR2 drive funny. So I'm not even gonna mess with that suspension until I get the new wheels in. So that's coming soon. Those are on back order, and they will be here probably about 2 to 8 weeks. So we're looking at 2 months worth of waiting. But that's okay. I'm gonna save up some money. Hopefully by then I'll have enough saved up to get some coilovers for that car, because currently it's just on some aftermarket springs right now. Okay, so at least I was able to install my front axle without it being totally toasted and my wheel flying off while I was driving. But what I learned today was that don't be too cheap when it comes to things that I don't really know about. So when I'm doing suspension and all that stuff, I need to go see my tire king, and you guys should too. If you guys are hardcore DIYers like me and you're doing things like suspension and stuff that you're not too familiar with, go see your local tire king. If you're in Sacramento, I will link his shop in the description below. He just got a new shop. Go see him. He'll get you set up. I called, I think, at least 4 or 5 shops around here, and I told him I have a VR4 and it's a 93 and it's got wide 9.5 wheels with a lowered aftermarket suspension. They were like, no, we're not gonna deal with that, forget it, bye. They like literally hung up on me, but Mo hooked me up clean. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe and leave me a comment. Tell me your adventures with your tires. And until next time, I will catch you guys later.